right here is no body. So that's head over there. So if you come here, that's all that. Okay? Right now you do
Bizmar ledubra adoino yoylo yachso dinas deshe yabitzena memenichis in aleni nafshi yesheve v'ancheni magle tzedek leman shemoy gam ki eilach v'geit zamus lo yiru ki at imudi shivtchu mishantecho hemi nachmini tarach lefuna shulchan eged tzoreroi shante b'shem eroshi koisi v'voye achtoi v'chesi defuni koi mechaya v'shafti v'veis adoino l'oirech yumim. Thank you. So either happens, you should just correct it. We're here to give our Kavod Achron to Valerie Sue Bas Avram Meir. It's Friday afternoon now, and Al Pi Halacha, we're not supposed to be maspid, but we'll say some divrei zikaron. It's come to all of us as a tremendous shock. Right after the day of mourning, the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, we're all mourning the sudden passing of Valerie Sue Bas Avram Meir, who each and every one of us was touched in such a special way by her tremendous thoughtfulness, her ability to make each and every person feel so special, feel so unique, and overall, the tremendous love to do chesed. From a very young age, it was possible to see that great kibud av v'aim that she had, something that we could say exemplified her entire life, doing everything and anything for her parents, for her mishpacha. The last few years, she was able to channel her tremendous ability to help others through the Chicago Center under the leadership of my father, Zol Zayin Gesund. And I once heard from my father that each generation has their special mitzvah. And he said, in today's generation, where many of us are privileged, that people are living, parents are living a lot longer than they once lived, Hashem is giving us an ability to do kibbud av v'aim for a lot longer than we ever were able to do. And nowadays we have a lot of other options how to treat parents. And a tremendous opportunity that we have today is, what are we going to How are we going to deal with our parents? Are we going to treat them in the most honorable and special way or not? And Varda Sara Bas Avram Meir showed us what it means to be devoted to parents, fulfilling Kibbud Av V'Em. And in that schus and all the other tremendous schusim of all the chesed that she did, we say every day in the beginning of davening, Elu Dvarim Shadam Oichel Pereseim B'Olam Hazeh V'Keren Kayemes L'Olam Haba. And many of the things mentioned, she was busy with every day, trying to help others, whether it was, like we said, Kibbud Av V'Em, Kemilas Chasadim, Iker Cholim, Achnasas Kala. She was constantly trying to help others through her amazing work at the Chicago Center, providing so much food, which in essence is such a great chesed for so many different people. She'll be very missed by her caring family. May she have a lechtige Gan Eden, ubila amovis lanetzach, amocha Hashem dima malko ponim. We're going to ask Rabbi Beider to say some divrei zikaron.
Rav mentioned that Erev, since it's after Chatzos, on Erev Shabbos, so we don't say Divrei Hesped, but being that Ms. Nedwin was part of the Chicago Center family, many people in her family sent some machshavas that they wanted to share. So I'll just share some of them, not all of them. There's not enough time to go through all of them, but without saying who wrote what, but I'll just share some of them. Ms. Nedwin was the most selfless person I've ever known. She was a giver all her life, and she never expected anything from anyone. She cared so much about the Chicago Center and everyone involved, from volunteers to the staff and people receiving meals. She gave her heart to everyone and everything she did. Ms. Nedwin was one of the nicest, warmest people you could ever know. Always greeted everyone with a smile. She was always looking to do more. Any way she could enhance people's lives, whether adding to people's meals, she was a giver, always looking what could she do for others. Her whole life was chesed. I remember when I first started working at the Chicago Center, I'm quoting from someone else, I was warmly welcomed by Valerie. She was always interested in how I was doing and how my family was doing. She was very motherly that way, and I quickly felt comfortable sharing the highs and lows of whatever was going on. She was always so kind and supportive in her responses to me, always saying the one or two things I needed to hear that moment to give me chizuk, the strength to keep on going on. Her message was very consistent. Emunah and bitachon in Hashem is the answer. It's what gets us through the hard times and makes us appreciate the good in our lives so much more than we would without it. She was always reassuring. I know that I'm only one of thousands of people who've benefited from Valerie's kindness, her motherly warmth, her wisdom, insight, time, and attention. I witnessed her thoughtfulness in when and how the food should be delivered, helping families plan for the week ahead, taking special orders for food sensitivities and preferences, and always caring about others. When I and others would thank her profusely for the difference her and her team's efforts made in our lives, her response was always that she was just a messenger. The Eichenstein Mishpacha are the real people to thank. She's just the lucky one who's able to be a shliach for all this chesed. I recently heard someone being asked what the soul looks like. Her answer was the good deeds you have done. What a beautiful, giant soul Valerie has, and what a remarkable loss for our community. A different employee. Valerie was such a warm person with a big heart and always with a big smile on her face, always cared for others. She was so fun to be around and lovely to chat with. The office won't be the same without you. Her smile brightened every room and lifted spirits. I know her legacy will live on at the Chicago Center by the people she has left and made an impact on. Whenever I walked into the kitchen, Valerie would make me feel so important, so loved. She truly cared about everyone, especially her volunteers, who she held dear and put so much into every meal. She cared so much for the people we were giving to. Here at the Chicago Center, we're one family, but the beating heart is Valerie. This is from someone else who emailed me. I was never able to compliment you. You never wanted to hear. You were always so humble. Outsiders look at your family and see they have two brothers, but in truth, the over 30 employees at the Chicago Center are all your siblings. We all feel that we should sit down on a low chair and we should mourn. Valerie, you were a mother to so many of us in some way. Your love to a fellow person and care was larger than anything we could have imagined. Your motherly instincts were so sharp. You knew what each of us was feeling and what we needed. There was no pretending when it came to you. If we entered the kitchen hungry, we could pretend we came to help, but you knew us too well. The packages you left by my desk, even this Tuesday when you hid food for me on my desk to take home, I thought I was the only lucky one, but then I realized that everyone got the same treatment. You fed over 60,000 meals since you started working at the Chicago Center. Imagine all the tremendous chesed you're taking with you. You were all of our therapists. So many volunteers use their time in the kitchen with you as a therapy session, just prepping the food, standing beside you, opening up to you. One volunteer told me she knows all my secrets. She took them with her to the grave. Your Yiras Shamayim was understanding. You were so careful with kashrus, didn't let anything slip. You had so much pride in your responsibility to make sure that everything was the highest standard. You were also the compliment director. You'd whisper into my ear, make sure to compliment so-and-so. You always wanted to be mechabed other people, respecting their tzelem elikim. And one last employee, Miss Nedwin was a special person. Earlier in her life, she gave up many years to care for her parents, becoming their primary caregiver, sacrificing her own opportunities to make sure that her parents had everything they needed. Ms. Nedwin came to the Chicago first as a volunteer to the Chicago Center and then as an employee. As many of you have said, she always greeted you with a smile, asked if she could prepare some food for you, or if there's any way she could assist. Her own inner happiness seemed to come only from the happiness of others. She treated everyone with more than respect. She treated everyone with love. Ms. Nedwin's death has created a void of Kedusha. We ourselves need to have her in mind when we do chesed and when we say Kaddish. Hopefully we'll merit to repair the hole in the world that her passing has left behind. The Rav mentioned the special kibbud av that she showed. It's very apropos that she was nifter on the parsha of the Aseret Sadibros of Kibbud av V'Eim. And it's Erev Shabbos, it's late, so I don't want to be moisef. I don't want to add, but on a personal note, Miss Nedwin, always a smile, always a warm smile, a twinkle in her eye for everyone. And we're going to miss that. I want to ask you, Mechila, on behalf of myself and on behalf of the entire Chicago Center family, if we ever were not mechabed you karoi, we ask you Mechila. We ask you to please be a good better in Shemayim, be a Melitz Yosher, for your mishpacha, your brothers, and your entire family, your sisters-in-law, your nieces and nephews. And we should please be a Melitz Yosher for all of us.
This is nobody. That's what I was saying. Now this radical.
Which one? Yasam or?
Yes. This is the radical. Oh, this is the regular one.
Okay. Iskara Iskara Shmei Rabba. Yamon the who say Femi who say I who me who I the whole base Israel Bagalavis man Karivim Romain. Yehishmarach Zelam Elamei Elamaya Yisparach Vishtabach Vispar Visman Vinis Nase Vishadar Vishalev Vishalosh Medi Kudashav Richu Leilomin Kober Chasav Shirasa Tushpachasav and Achamasa Damiram Biama Vimromen Yehish Shlomo Rabba Min Shemai Vachaim Aleinu V'Yalko Yisrael Vimromen Aseh Shalom Vimromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yalko Yisrael Vimromen.
It was a tremendous chus that somebody is nifter on Erev Shabbos, and especially the kavura being after Chatzos. It's a zman that there's no chibit hakeva, as she was a person of chesed. Chesed shel emes she did without waiting for a return from anybody, just to give. Now she'll be zeichem Yetz Hashem to have all of that repaid to her in a oifen of nitzchias, which will be a schus for her la'ad l'omer l'omem. Mule Rachmim Shoichaim Imraim Hamzim Nichen Choin Al Kam Fashchina Bemalis Kedosh Mitoidim Mizayad Kiyam Asirem Es Nishmas Vaide Sura Basavdu Maye Shahol Cheloilu Mai Bavish Noisnin Stuke Badas Kudus Nishmusa Began Aiden Time in the Chusa Lechaim Ale Rachmi Astira Bisaisa Kenofav Lailo Mem Yitzra Bitzra Lechaim Es Nishmusa Adonai Hinachlus V'Saniach HaMishkova B'Shulayim V'Noim Adomayim.
Shiva is going to be at the Nedwin residence, 3052 West Birchwood. Shachris every morning will be at 8 o'clock, and then Monday and Thursday at 7 a.m., and then Mincha Maariv at 8 p.m. If we could form a shura so the Bruce can walk through. Also, there's some water bottles available before you leave. Sorry, it's a little warm.